So with our handsome Mr. W, I wanted to work a little bit with going to our bed. He's like, so close. Yes, right there. I know last time when we practiced, he was a little bit unsure about the target. He's just doing a few cleanup moments. Ready? Bed? Yes. Very nice. So if in the beginning, he's just getting comfortable. Oh, you found another find it. Thank you. Ready? Bed? Yes. So when working with the target training, we're just practicing every time he goes and makes contact with his body on the mat, he gets a reinforcement. So I know he did get groomed this morning. So he could also be a little bit tired from that as well as what we're working on today. So if you ever find that when you're practicing, he's already had like a vet visit, hey, Ebba, be careful if you knock over the camera. Can you move away from the camera for a second? Thank you. So my little one said she wanted to help, which mostly means distraction work, I'd say. Yes. So right now with Mr. W, if when you're going and practicing, like I mentioned earlier, he's having a harder time because maybe he did get a little tired from his grooming adventure. Maybe he went to the vet's office and he got a little bit tired from that. So whenever your babe has a few different things happening throughout the day, there could be moments where your training or your behavior sort of setup could be a bit off. Or not go to plan because of their potential for being overtired or overwhelmed with all of the things in the day. So again, right here, yes. So with Mr. Handsome, as he's working a bit with his place, ready, bed, yes. I'm going to see if I can start to get him to hone in on the target and do some settles. Ready, Winston, come. So every once in a while, we're going to also work, well, Ebba, remember mommy said walking is fine, okay? I know. So with Mr. W, we're practicing a little bit with the distraction of obviously the little human. So sometimes I know he does get to go to school and there's obviously going to be littles there. So Winston, yes. So sometimes even though we have a goal of going to our mat, right now sometimes using the real world dynamic and bringing him from that distraction can be helpful. Yes. So right now what he's starting to realize is even though the little one might seem intriguing and kind of entertaining, Winston, come. We can then still have a good time bouncing back from the distraction and coming back to you or whoever he needs to hone in on. So if we're doing a little bit of the jumping, I would just turn and pivot. Oh, chewing is optional. Let him simmer on the floor for a second. And then when he's got all 4 feet on the ground again, feed him for that lovely move or ask for the sit or something you'd rather to replace that jumping. But remember, if he's doing it because he's a little pooped out or he's a little overwhelmed, then those movement behaviors are better with some of those find its as we mentioned earlier. So ready, find it. So it sometimes can be a great way to get them warmed up, find it, and reorienting again back to you. Nice. Winston, come. Yes, nice job. So if, let's say, for example, we're still just building up, finding this blanket to be not too stressful or overwhelming, we might just break it down into smaller steps. So he comes in targets, we feed for that. Ready? Winston, come. Yes, what a good boy. Good job, sir. So if the blanket is a little bit more, again, jarring for him, everybody's got their own things for what they like. I know he has gone through a few different beds already. So it might be finding one that you would like that's not too expensive and not too fluffy and getting him to start practicing going to that target. So if, again, he's not a huge fan of this blanket, not the end of the world. That's some impressive jumping. So ready? We'll go right to our spot. Sit. Yes. And again, we want to feed for while he's in the position. So a lot of times he may at times move and wiggle. And if we feed him as he stands or moves, he might start to think that it's for leaving the spot and maybe not necessarily for placing on it or for sitting on it. So in the beginning, I do like to make sure that I'm feeding for either the target, skill, or behavior or, environmental placement that I want him on. Ready? So we're going to get him back onto his little mat. He's like, this is terrible and really weird. Don't worry, sir. He's like, I'll just sit on your lap instead. That's probably much more comfortable, right? So very nice. So, but if the target is still a bit more overwhelming, we're going to work some lovely stay positions, ready? Without using the target. So I'll just fold it up. No big deal if he says it's a little bit spooky. And we'll do a little bit without the mat. So we'll just plop it off to the side. Ready? Winston. Come. Nice job. Yes, good boy. So let's say we're going to work a little bit with the stay for Mr. W. We're going to get him into a sit. We're going to tell him to stay. And then I'm going to feed him several little tidbits while he's still in his sit stay. So remember, stay is all about being stationary and finding value in not moving, which right now could be hard because I have my little one out and about in the same little training area. So if we wiggle and we break, we might regain his attention. Ready? That was a very impressive dance move. So we're going to tell him again to stay. And we're going to feed again for all 4 on the floor. So you'll see that my repetitions are short and sweet so I can try to keep his interest on me and the task. If, let's say, we're going to end it, I'm going to feed him his last few snacks, tell him all done, and then I might add some touch to break him from the stay position. But remember, there's no food given for being all done. Winston! He says, I really like this little lady instead. So if, let's say, he is a bit distracted by her, nice job, sir. I want to give him the chance to figure it out. So if, let's say, she is something off in the distance and he can work his way in and out of it, you could work some little check-ins. If he's soft and he's just meandering with her, again, no big deal. But if, let's say, mouthing or jumping and sort of roughhousing starts to happen, that's where we want to make sure that we're helping him through those situations. So ready? Winston. Yes. Nice. So beautiful name recognition. Also coming to me from the distraction, I just jackpotted him, which means that I gave him several snacks, one after the other. Nice job to build up that value. So he's doing a real nice job. So we'll go back into a little find it. 2, when working sometimes with stays, you will want to at times give him breaks to get up and wiggle. So ready? We'll go into that little sit. I know he's very excited. Thank you. That was very nice. Yes. So now I'm going to tell him to stay. And we're just going to work a few quick little rapid fire stay positions. So again, we're feeding several little goodies to hold the sit stay, creating this value for not moving. And then here's his last little rep. I would tell him all done, and then we could give him some touch if he prefers the touch. And now that means he can get up and he can break from the position. So that way, we're not, again, feeding for the release, only while he's stuck in the stay. That's okay. So now I'm going to tell him again to stay. And I'm going to go ahead and feed several reps for holding his sit stay. So remember, we're building up value, and if he wiggles, I'm going to regain the sit, tell him once more to stay. We're just trying to build up value and not moving. So right now, I know it's a bit hard because we have another little distraction off in the distance, but we're building up a little bit more of this concept while maybe other things are happening nearby. So right here, nice. And we're going to end it. So we're going to feed him his last tidbit, tell him all done. We might add the little touch. Oh my goodness, good sneezes. And he gets up and breaks. So the sneezing also typically means for your babes that they're really enjoying something. But also if they're mid-wrestle, it tends to mean like I'm play wrestling, not real wrestling or real fighting. Ready? Nice. So good little check back in from the distraction. Thank you. So, but maybe what we'll do is we'll give him a little breather from some of these recalls from distractions, but then also make sure that he was doing a really nice job with those lovely stays. But we're going to work maybe a little bit with some more loose leash walking in just a moment. Good job, Mr. W. Super job. So ready? If we're going to do some jumping, hold on. Mama's just getting him comfy right here. Yes. I want to make sure that, again, he's not always doing the pop-up. So he's doing a real good job with keeping the 4 on the floor.